Now this is a treehouse. Okay, it's time for some more treehouse content. Now, I've been building treehouses since I was 8 years old, which means I've been doing this 14 years. And today I'm going to show you a treehouse that I built 7 years ago when I was 15, if you follow all that. And this one goes up to 50 feet tall. So this one may look like it's not high off the ground, but it's actually built over a ravine that drops about 15 feet. So the bottom floor is about 15 feet off the ground. Watch out for the poison ivy. These stairs are to code if you're a dachshund, aka a wiener dog. So this thing is built on 6 poplar trees. And to everybody who says that I kill the tree by drilling a hole in it, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 that are still alive. So I have this nice curved railing here. Part of that's because I thought it looked cool, and part of it's because my joists were just this length, and I was like, all right, sure, that works. Hog wire railing, cedar 2x2s, holding up pretty well. We used to have a rope swing. My brother broke it recently. Well, it was about its time anyway. The rope is 80 feet up on a poplar branch that I shot up there with a bow and arrow and a fishing line. Okay, that is the rope that I got up there with the fishing line, a bow and arrow for the swing. It was pretty fun. I think the arrow ended up in my neighbor's yard. And you don't want to fall, because look what happens if you fall off the swing and the swing breaks. Anyway, as I was saying, this thing is actually 15 feet off the ground. You can take a look off the edge here. I'll get out of your way. There's a creek that runs under here 24/7, 365. It comes from a spring, but when it rains, probably 30, 40 acres worth of land wash into this, and it is a flash flood. You would not want to be down there. It's a bit old and a bit sketch, which is why we have these restricted area signs, do not enter. But we're going to enter today. Most of my lumber I sourced from construction dumpsters, but I did buy some stuff, such as this. These 2x6s I found up the way in the ravine a little bit. They'd been there for decades, and they had this nice green moss on it. I used to come out here and water my door in the summertime, but I let the moss die. It still looks cool though. I may repurpose it for the other treehouse. All right, inside it's a lot smaller than I remember. Looks like it's mostly keeping water out. There's definitely some water right there. We have 5 out of 7 windows remaining. This one is missing, and that one is missing. This light, it used to be up there. It's not up there anymore. I don't know at what point it fell down, but it's on the ground now. This used to work. It used to have power. I dug a trench all the way from the house down to here. It definitely does not have power anymore. I don't know what happened. I don't really care. I mean, my electrical wire seems fine. I can't imagine why we don't have power anymore. Properly installed and everything. Here's one side of the treehouse. We have one window here. I don't know at what point it got from there to there. One window fell, I'm pretty sure, and it's long gone. Like I said, it flash floods under here. That window is gone, long gone. Anyway, this is my little tree house. Now let's go up 2 more stories. It's fine. All right, up we go. This tree is 150 feet tall. I measured it with my drone. That thing goes on up there. Now this bridge, you may or may not be able to tell, is sloped for water runoff. This big old poplar tree here, and it's like the 4th biggest one in this ravine. And this thing's got to be like probably 3.5 feet thick. So I built this spiral staircase out of 2x10s, and it's to code. Here in Georgia, the code is 10-inch tread depth, 1-foot riser, and 2-foot spacing. So one thing I want to point out that's happening all over the treehouse is these bolts here and this bolt here. So it may look like the tree is sucking the bolts in, but actually what's happening is the tree is growing and pushing the boards out, and the bolts are staying anchored into where they were drilled. This treehouse was built with Home Depot hardware, and I built it. It had about 1.5 inches to grow. They've grown, and now they're pushing everything apart. And I was going to come out here and turn all the bolts out slowly, but there's like 100 bolts, and I didn't do that. So this staircase it's not structurally sound, and I would not recommend going up it. You can see this is probably like a 3-foot step right here. Again, would be very good if you were a dachshund, aka wiener dog. Anyway, this platform here, I call this platform the I'm too lazy to keep building the stairs platform. Built this ladder when I was like 13 actually. It's holding up pretty well. Now there was a counterweight that you could pull to lift the trapdoor. The counterweight is now right here. So we'll just set that down and we'll go on up. That used to lower real nice and smooth. It does not anymore. So you know when you say you're gonna get something tomorrow, you'll finish it tomorrow? That was 7 years ago. I'm still not gonna get it. Alrighty fellas, you are watching never before seen footage, colorized, of me at 16 years old, lowering the drawbridge, testing out the pulley system. The pulley obviously was not set up properly in this, but it did work. Ended up adding like 4 more pulleys and putting the ropes on the posts and all that. This next scene here is actually a bunch of pictures of the treehouse that I found put together in a little video. And this is all that remains of the evidence of me building this. So there you go, I'll slow it down a little and hope that helps to conceptualize what's going on here. So I've got this pulley system that I used to lower this drawbridge here. And there's a couple reasons for the drawbridge. Could have done a rope bridge, but that's actually more complicated, believe it or not. Cable bridge. We're 35 feet up the trees at this point. The trees move a lot, like several feet in high winds at this point. And if these trees were connected with the solid bridge, they would rip the treehouse apart. So I've got these ropes here in a little pulley system. I was gonna make it electric, but I never got around to it. I've got an anchor on the tree that I tie it to, and all I gotta do is lower it down. I'm sure it's fine. I'm sure it's fine. Yeah. I do believe I built the landing out of non-pressure treated LVLs, and I did not know at the time that those were non-pressure treated LVLs. So we're going to take this with caution. Good. Okay, this is what I call the crow's nest. It's 35 feet off the ground, 8x8 platform. Still rock solid, and of course that's because I slapped it and I said, that's not going anywhere when I built it. And if you know, you know. I wish I had more build footage. This used to be on Southern Adventures back in the day. But Southern Adventures has gotten a fresh start, and none of this footage of building this treehouse. Now some of you guys, the original 1,500 of you guys that were still subscribed when I started back up in May, are going to be familiar with this treehouse. And you're probably going to be getting some nostalgia right now. So if you come over here and look, I designed this kind of like a backup tab. There's a 1/2-inch bolt coming out there, which is not very big. So I added a chain, a turnbuckle, a chain link connector, and another bolt, and you could self-tighten, and that is very, very, very tight. So essentially what it does is it makes the bolt supported from both ends so that it can't bend and break out of the tree. So I started building an extension on the 7th tree of this treehouse over there. So the way I got all the way up to here is building one platform on top of another and stacking ladders, but as you can see here, there's nothing below it. So I bet you're probably wondering how I got that up there. Anyway, I never got around to building a ladder. I also never got around to putting actual bolts in the knee braces on this, so it's still held in with deck mates. I got this outlet up here. That doesn't work anymore either. Gee, I wonder why. Wonder why. I'm sure it's fine. I had the electricians come out and do it. I'm gonna head on up. There's a squirrel's nest up here. That's okay. Okay, welcome to the Eagle's Nest, the highest point on the treehouse. I was gonna go higher, but we were having trouble getting our house insured with this, so my dad made me stop. This was interesting to get up here. I built it like around the tree on the crow's nest, and then we pushed it up with like 16-foot deck boards. It was very sketchy. That seems to be a recurring theme on this channel, so get used to it. We are 50 feet above the ravine, 55 feet from where you're being filmed at right now. Let's take a look around. Go and just film all the angles, everything. These here, pointing down the whole thing. Super sick. So we're in a strip of massive old, very tall poplar trees. And if you look out this way, you can see 1, 2, 3, 4. And I really wanted to build like a Swiss Family Robinson type platform hopping thing going all the way crazy through these trees. And there's more over there. So this tree still goes up another 100 feet above us, which is insane. If you're in California, yeah, I know. But in Georgia, that's a lot. We're gonna throw it down the furthest part, there it goes. That was still like 20-something feet off the ground by the time it hit the brush, by the way. Takes about 3 seconds for something to fall from here to the bottom. Just in case this isn't high enough for you. Ooh. You can continue up this poplar tree. There used to be branches here for me to step on, but we are near the top of this thing, and it sways. That just hit the ground. Look how big this tree is, 35 feet off the ground. Poplar tree. Big old poplar tree. You can see the tree attachments are completely being shoved out of the tree. This board is at like a 45-degree angle, which is definitely not okay. We're in the jungle, man. It is hot back under here. So this is what I mean by the treehouse its days are numbered. You can see right here where it is growing. This board is tilted out at like a 45-degree angle. It's only a matter of probably months before it just splits. That tree back there is a double poplar. It's like 6-7 feet across at the bottom there. Built right across the ravine. Hole I sliced for it to try to move back and forth. That didn't work. Get proper treehouse supplies, guys. It's a lot more expensive, but hey, I mean, this has been here for 7 years, so you never know. My most viewed video on Old Southern Adventures was how to build a treehouse using Home Depot supplies. I've done it many times. You can zoom in on it. See that motion detector light right there? Now this thing used to be decked out. It was sweet back in its heyday. When you walked up to the bottom of the stairs, that light would turn on. It would flick on several other motion sensor lights that were wired to it. And so you'd walk up here at night and boom, the lights would turn on. Once you got up to the second story and you open up the trap door, a motion sensor light was pointed right on that. Boom! The third story or the second story would light up from the third story. It was pretty epic back in the day. We had speakers and lights and all that stuff. It was the hangout spot. And by hangout spot, I mean where I exploited my friends and family for free labor. Kind of kidding. We used a vibe on this thing in high school building it. It was a lot of fun. Thanks for watching the video. Stay tuned for more treehouse content. Next, I'm going to show you a treehouse I built, or tree fort over there. I built when I was 11, and it's still there. I haven't been over there in a while, but we're going to check it out in the next video, so stay tuned.